listening to the Rebel Rebel podcast with Ruairi Carson. Tá sé bhgéisteach leis an fód cruúlaí Rebel Rebel le Ruairi Carson.
To see a legend just the other night at the Yankee Stadium underneath the lights. I heard an old man speaking after years and years in jail. His name was Nelson Mandela, and he came to tell his tale. Well, the crowd, they cheered him loudly, oh, then the silence fell as he spoke about his hardships in a South African cell. Although he was free, oh, his heart was still in pain. His country and his people still wore apartheid's chains. Said he hoped that he could join us and we walk down freedom's path. These roads would be the hard years, oh, they would be the last, and to join our hands together so that we can fight as one, and we'll bring ourselves to the cause, so our struggle shall be won. I went home to bed that evening, I fell asleep and I had a dream. I dreamt that I was standing there in an Irish field of green, and all around our headstones of the martyrs from the past. Well, they stood in solid silence, and they spoke to me at last. Kevin Barry is my name, I was tortured in a cell. They wanted the names of my comrades, how much this I could not tell. And I am Roger Casement, I was hiding by England's hand for bringing German rifles to a lonely battle strand. James Connolly is my name, the working people are my life. Then they shot me down there was war and civil strife. And I am Paul McPierce, I was shot down by the foe, for I read our proclamation outside the GPO. Well, the last voice that I heard says my name is Bobby Sands. It's great to hear Mandela's voice is ringing through the land. Wanna hear it in Belfast, free Derry and Tyrone. Maybe even those English soldiers will know it's time to go on home. Well, I woke up from my dream, I remember them all. Who would have believed that they would knock down the very wall, and they freed Nelson could this really be? Maybe now we'll see old Ireland reunited and free. Maybe now we'll see our island reunited and free.
Well, folks, how's all doing? Welcome along. This is Rebel Sundays from the Rebel podcast live here on YouTube live, of course, also live on my own personal Facebook page, being streamed live across everywhere this Sunday, folks. And I've also streamed the page, well, I've shared the stream live onto the Rebel podcast Facebook page as well. So no excuse, folks, not to get a listen this afternoon. So we are here 1 hour earlier than normal, folks. Obviously, Celtic plays at 2:30, so I want to get the show finished today so I can go home and watch the match. And I don't really want to clash with the game either, so we can give us all a good wee lift this afternoon. Hopefully we can do the business and get into another cup final against the Jam Tarts this year. So folks, yeah, so welcome along. That first song you heard there was from Ronan McDonald. Of course, it was the legend Mandela, and that was one of the songs from the very first album Ronan and all the lads brought out, was Raised on Songs and Stories. And that was specially dedicated and sort of memory of Ronan's dad, Jerry Mack. So we're going to be talking to Ronan on the phone in about an hour's time, and we'll also be featuring songs from all 3 albums that Ronan has been involved in sort of producing, folks. So definitely a bit of a Derry overload today, I have to say, but that's not a bad thing. I've always maintained that Derry and the whole Derry area is definitely the capital of music, live music, Irish traditional music, rebel music, and the whole of Ireland, folks. And if anybody wants to argue with me, come back with an argument, because there is none, honestly. So we're going to have a song as well from the brand new album from Krista Coyle, that's hot off the press. She sent me in the post this week, so cheers, Krista. Thank you very much. We'll get one of your tunes on there later this afternoon as well. So, a few wee comments here on Facebook first. Shay Doolan's listening. Shay, good to see you on over in Liverpool. Looking for John Thompson. So I might get the Glasnevin version on later on for you from their new album. A few comments here already on YouTube, folks. So Ray Callahan, hello from Dublin Road. Kevin Barry, please, on the 100th anniversary today. Yes, don't worry, that is up. Going to be up very soon. Today is the 100th anniversary of the execution in Mountjoy Jail of 18-year-old Kevin Barry, folks. So a bit of a poignant song for that one. So that's going to be on during the show today, don't worry. Michael Turner, well, Michael, how you doing? Over in Worthing there in England, what's the crack today, mate? Phil Coleman says he's looking for Beeswing for all the Potters Thursday Club. Right, I'll see if we can get that on. Didn't think I played Beeswing last week, Phil, so we'll try and get that on this week for you. Who else do we have? Right? Hugh O'Neill, well, Hugh, how you doing? Good to see you back on again this week. And then we have Kev Lower is looking for Martin Hurston. I think you asked me to play it a couple of weeks ago and I didn't play it, so I think it was you, so I'll try and fit it in the day of 2 hours. So, but the second hour is mostly going to be filled up, folks, with Ronan's interview, because we have so much music to get through and a good in-depth yarn as well with Ronan. So hopefully we'll try and fit all the songs in. So if you can, folks, for me, this is live on Facebook now, so share the feed for me. Also, if you can share the YouTube feed, it'd be much appreciated, folks. Right, who else do we have? James Corbett. Well, James, how you doing, mate? Good to see you on the Sunday afternoon. Stevie Williamson, great tune. Yeah, the legend Mandela, it's a fantastic song. So Stevie here is looking to go on home, British soldiers. Right, so who else? Joseph Pearce. Afternoon, we hope all is well. Can you please play a tune today for Lenny and the boys? Not a problem, mate. Right, so we'll make do a wee Johnny Thompson one later on. Just get all the guys geared up for today's match. So right, next tune we're going to do. I haven't played much of Luke Kelly in a while, so we'll do this one. I was looking through all the fancy dresses last night, and I shared this one on Facebook and Instagram. I have to say, this wee girl down the Falls Road just dressed up as Mary Lou McDonald, president of Sinn Féin, and it won the internet last night. Absolutely fantastic. But I've seen somebody else put up, they dressed up as basically Luke Kelly, the statue of Luke Kelly in Dublin. So basically it was like a big grey breeze block, basically with the guy's head sticking out. So it was very, very funny. A few people shared that last night. So we're going to do this one here from Luke Kelly. Brilliant song. And it's just his voice in this song. It just gives you shivers. So this is Luke Kelly, Dublin in the rare old times.
Ring a rosy as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Raised on songs and stories, heroes of renown, the passing tales and the glories that once was Dublin town. The hallowed halls and houses, the haunting children's rhymes, that once was Dublin city in the rare old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. My name it is Sean Dempsey, as Dublin as could be, born hard and late in Pimlico, in a house that ceased to be. By trade I was a cooper, lost out to redundancy, like my house that fell to progress, my trade's a memory. And I courted Peggy Dignan, as pretty as you please, a rogue and child of Mary, from the rebel liberties. I lost her to a student chap with skin as black as coal, when he took her off to Birmingham, she took away my soul. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. The years have made me bitter, the gargle dims me brain, 'cause Dublin keeps on changing and nothing seems the same. The pillar and the Met have gone, the Royal long since pulled down, as the grey unyielding concrete makes a city of my town. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Fare thee well, sweet Anna Liffey, I can no longer stay and watch the new glass cages that spring up along the quay. My mind's too full of memories, too old to hear new chimes. I'm a part of what was Dublin in the rare old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy, as the light declines, I'll remember Dublin city in the rare old times. Ring-a-ring-a-rosy,
But Luke Kelly, or if you folks have a fantastic Dublin in the rural time. So just that wee picture seen from Halloween last night, some boy dressed up, and it just I'm going to do a Luke Kelly one on the Mars show, and that's one of the finest songs he's ever done, honestly. Right, so who else we have listening? Peter Scullin Jr. is watching. Another penalty for the Jam Buns, for God's sake, wouldn't you know it? Like, well, listen, lads, let's not concentrate on them instead. It's all about us in Aberdeen today, so let's not just concentrate what they're doing, okay? Because we'll only get ourselves in a bad mood. Peter O'Connell, good to hear. The king of them all, Luke Kelly, afternoon row. Peter, mate, listen, just seen your post there last, mate. Hope you're keeping well, mucker. Stay safe and just stay indoors, and hope you get recovered from this horrible bloody disease very soon, mate. We're all thinking of you here in West Belfast, mate. So that's Peter O'Connell from Clover up there in County Limerick. Hugh McKenna's on, great song. It definitely is. Paul Sheeran, well, hello Paul, how you doing? Good to see you on this Sunday afternoon. Right, a few more wee shout-outs on YouTube on the way here for you. Right, so Paul Bird is watching for Kilray in County Derry. And he just told me out twice. Justin McQuillan, morning row. Sundays are class with the Rebel Sundays. Good to see you on, Justin. Pedro's on. Well, Pedro, how you doing? Krista Coyle, hello. Hey, sexy. Is that me you're talking to, Krista? Maybe it is me. I'm the one here. Good to see you on. Mustn't know I'll get one of your songs on the second part of the show. Don't you worry. When we're going to do the Derry Overload to say in the second part of the show today, but say not a bad thing at all, folks. Nothing wrong with a few tunes from good Derry folk. Tell that there, right? So that's all the requests so far on YouTube. So we'll move on for you. Right, so Philly Coleman was looking at a song for all the Patters Thursday Club tunes regulars. So looking Beeswing. So we're going to do this one here. So Pedro, my mucker over in Falkirk's been in touch, and he says, can you do a song from Gary Og for the good people at the Star Inn and the Vic Bar in Falkirk, and also big happy belated birthday to John Mack, aka the Postie, whose birthday was your day, mate. I forgot to send you a wee birthday card or a birthday e-card on Facebook, so apologies, mate, but happy birthday, mate. Hope you had a good one for all the rest of the family. So, yep, this one is a cracking tune recorded live in Connolly's Bar in Glasgow. Whenever the bars could open and whenever the music could be played in the bars. This is Beeswing performed by Gary Og with a bit of help from Chris Crookie Crookshank and big coach in the background there. So yeah, this is Gary Og for you. All the rest of the lads are with the brilliant Beeswing.
I was 19 when I came to town. They called it the summer of love. They were burning babies, burning flags, hearts against the dawn. I took a job at the steamhead, working down Cawthron Street. I fell in love with a laundry girl working next to me. Brown hair zigzagged across her face and a look of half surprise. Like a fox caught in the headlights, there was animal in her eyes. And she said, oh young man, can't you see I'm not the factory kind? If you don't take me out of here, I'll surely lose my mind. She was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. And she was a lost child. She was running wild. She said as long as there's no price on love I'll stay. Wouldn't want me any other way. So we busked around the market towns. We picked her down in Kent. We could take her lamps and nights and pots wherever we went. We was camping down the Gar one time and work was very good. She thought we shouldn't wait for frost. I thought maybe we should. So I said to her, let's settle down, get a few acres dug, a fire burn and on the hearth, babies on the run. But she said, oh man, you foolish man, it surely sounds like hell. You might be lord of half the world, you not own me as well. And she was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. And she was a lost soul, she was running wild. She said, as long as there's no price on love, I'll stay. Wouldn't want me any other way. Well, we was drinking more in those days as tempers reached the pitch, and like a fool they let her run with a ramble in it. And the last I heard, she was back, she was out in the Derby beat, with a bottle of white horse and her tail and a wolfhound at her feet. And they said she even married once to a man named Romany Brown, but even a gypsy caravan was too much like settling down. And now they say her flowers faded, her weather and her goods. Well, maybe that's the price you pay for the change that you refuse. Well, she was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, and I miss her more than words could ever say. If I could just taste all of the wildness now, if I could hold her in my arms again today, you wouldn't want me any other way.
Yeah, so the brilliant Beeswing our fees. There's Gary Ogue with Chris Cruikshank and Big Coach as well. Fantastic, that's recorded live there from Connolly's Bar over in Glasgow. So that's for Pedro and all the rest of the guys here in the Star Inn in Falkirk, and also the Vic as well over in Falkirk across the road. And of course for Philly and all the rest of the crowd from the Potters Thursday Club there in Dublin. So you go. A few more wee shout-outs. Michael Ferguson Celtics. Will songs home, Mickey friends. What's that mean to Celtic? Will songs home, Mickey friends. I mean, that there means absolutely nothing. I don't know what that means at all. Craigie's all, how you doing? What's the crack, Craigie? Good to see you on the Sunday, mate. Janice Henry, hey Ro. Well, Janice, how are you? Krista Coyle, obviously me. She's talking about, well, who would else should be talking about? Well, good to see you on, Krista, right? Who else do I have here, right? I'll just check out the wee Facebook comments here, folks. It is. We are live on my personal Facebook page here. Plus, I've shared the stream to the Facebook page for the Rebel podcast. So you have no excuse. If you can't go on the YouTube, don't worry. It's all there on all the social media here for you. So you can still comment. And any comments are made on Facebook, I will still get them here on the tablet on the YouTube stream. So there you go. Right, so what I'll go to next. Yes, this CD here, folks, as I mentioned there earlier on. Right, Krista Coyle has brought out a brand new album, folks. We played a couple of songs from it a few weeks ago before it was released. So it's a brilliant album called From the Streets of Free Derry. And Krista's actually on now watching. So apparently the first batch of CDs is sold out. The second batch she had in are almost sold out, folks. So it just goes to show you what a talent this wee girl is. And she's definitely going places, seriously. Right, so we're going to play one of the songs from this album. And say that last song we played there, the guy who's playing the whistles and the flute in it, Chris Cruikshank, had a lot to play in this CD. Chris is just phenomenal, folks. You all know. Well, anything in Scotland that people are going to do with any sort of type of music, Chris Cruikshank's the man to go and see, and he has his sort of hands in so many pies, folks, regarding live albums, studio albums. The guy's just fantastic. So he played the bass and the whistles in this song, plus he produced and edited the whole CD. So we're going to do this one here for you. It's number 10 the album. It's two songs together. So it's Irish Soldier Laddie and the Merry Ploughboy. Just something is, yes, here we go. Get us ready for this game today. So this is Krista Coyle from the album From the Streets of Free Derry. and the Irish Soldier Laddie and Merry Ploughboy. Here we go.
It was one morning in July, I was walking through Ruairi, and when I heard a battle cry from the mountains overhead, as they looked up to the sky, saw an Irish soldier laddie who looked at me right fearlessly and said, "And will you stand in the band like a true Irishman and go and fight the forces of the crown? And will you march with O'Neill to an Irish battlefield? For tonight we're gonna free old Wexford town." Said it to the soldier lad, "Would you take me to your captain? It'd be my pride and joy to march with you today. My brother fell in Cork, and my son in Enniscorthy, and to the noble captain died and saved. And will you stand in the band like a true Irishman and go and fight the forces of the crown? And will you march with O'Neill to an Irish battlefield? For tonight we're gonna free old Wexford town." And as we march back home again in the shadow of the evening, with our banners flying low to the memory of our dead, as we returned unto our homes without our soldier laddie, and I never will forget those words he said. "And will you stand in the band like a true Irishman and go and fight the forces of the crown? And I will march with O'Neill to an Irish battlefield. For tonight we're gonna free old Wexford town. Will you stand in the band like a true Irishman and go and fight the forces of the crown? And will you march with O'Neill to an Irish battlefield? For tonight we're gonna free old Wexford town. Oh, I am the merry ploughboy, and I plough the fields by day, till the sudden thought came to my mind that I should roam away. And I've always hated slavery,
Here you go, Krista Coyler for you. Is that there's the Married Ploughboy for you, and all off the Dublin, the Green, Irish Soldier Laddie, right? So, yeah, folks, absolutely loads of love there for you, Krista, from all of the comments here. Yep, Stevie Williamson's so want to get my Tim whistle out. Amazing voice, Cavlor. Yeah, good girl, Krista. Michael McLeod, cracking from Krista. Can't wait till the CD dropping through the letterbox. Hugh O'Neill, Krista, that's one of my favourite songs. Janice Henry there, just a wee heart. So you go, Krista, there you go. Folks, if you want to get the CD, I don't think there's much of the second batch left. So all you need to do is go on. If you're on Instagram, check out Krista Coyle Rebel Singer. If you're on Twitter, she's on Twitter. Go on the Facebook, just check her out on it, and you can just send a wee PayPal to the link to her merchandise page. You'll get one of these cracking CDs out in the post. So I'll give you the wee track listen so you know what is on the CD. It's a real rebel album, I have to say. 10 brilliant songs. Starts off with The Foggy Dew. Then, of course, my favourite song, Willie and Danny. Then George and Pop, a real Derry feel to this album. And then a brilliant song written by Dackie McLaughlin that Gary O normally does. It's I Believe in You. That was one's all about the women in the struggle, so it is. And then there's a Sniper's Promise, Aidan McInespy, Back Home in Derry, the Dan Rebel, Death Before Revenge. And the last song there, of course, is the one I just played, the Irish Soldier Laddie and the Married Ploughboy. And she's joined on the CD there by Kieran Davenport of the Glasnevin fame, who plays mandolin on it. And of course, the guy who basically put the whole CD together, Chris Crookie Crookshank, who played bass and whistles on the CD, as well as just doing everything else, apart from singing. So there you go, folks, get your hands on it, check out Krista on all of her social media, and get yourself one of them CDs, you won't be disappointed. Right, Janice Henry, shout out to all the oldies in East Kilbride, please. Agnes and William Hendry, Highland Paddy by Emer. Right, I'm going to do that for you, my oldest fans here. Not the oldest fans over in Scotland. There's Agnes and William Henry over in East Kilbride. Right, I'm going to play 2 more songs and then I'll get that on Fusion. It's not a problem, don't worry. Right, so Cavlor just said, don't forget Kevin Barry's 100th anniversary today. Yes, Kevin Barry's going to be on very soon. I have it lined up and all, Kev. Don't worry. I know about that song, so do. Right, so yep, there you go. Well, anybody else on Facebook here, folks? Any more comments? Are you playing the CD today? One second. There's a few comments here I've missed. Right, Marty Heaney, afternoon. Missed the first half hour. Sorting Sunday dinner, not a problem, mate. Are you playing? Stephen wants to know, am I playing the CD today? Well, I'm going to be playing 2 songs from the Stories of the Land CD. They'll be coming up in the next half an hour or so, just basically before Ronan's interview and then just after the interview as well. So look out for that there. Right, so what are we going to do next? So from one Derry girl, Krista, as I say, folks, today was a bit of a Derry overload, but because we'll have Ronan on, there's so much great music coming from Derry. So we're going to be playing a song later on from Sean McCafferty, but this time we're going to do a song by his sister, Ciara, who you all know. This wee girl is like the royalty of Derry when it comes to music, so she is. I could only hope and pray that I might get her on the show one day, so maybe Sean, if you're listening, you might be able to sort that for me, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this is the first song of the show was Ronan singing The Legend, and that was from the Raised in Songs and Stories album, of course, dedicated to Ronan's dad, Jerry Mack. So this next one we're going to do is from that album as well. So this is Ciara McCafferty singing Meet Me at the Pillar. I have to say, this is definitely my favourite song from that album, so it is. And this is the live version of it. I just like playing live songs, so obviously they had a CD launch for the album launch, so this is the song performed live on the night. So yeah, this is the next one for you, from another Derry sensation, Ciara McCafferty with Meet Me at the Pillar.
He was walking down by Island Bridge, just doing as I please. This April day was sun and warm, there was but a gentle breeze. I wandered up the old stone steps into the Phoenix Park to watch the children laugh and play in the hours before dark. I strode up to the monument and I lay down on the ground, and people started crying when they heard about her son. thought came over me. For a moment I could hear the echo of a soldier's voice kept calling in my ear. Meet me at the pillar, son. Please meet me there at noon. I need you, brave young Irishman. There's something we must do. Meet me at the pillar, son, for still it's not too late. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait. I turned around to see you smile, but nobody was there. In the distance I could hear the drums, yet a stillness fills the air. I close my eyes and in my dreams a soldier I could see. He said his name is Patrick Pierce and kept on calling me. Meet me at the pillar, son. Please meet me there at noon. I need you, brave young Irishman. There's something we must do. Meet me at the pillar, son, for still it's not too late. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait. The full night I lay awake, and many times I cried. I could not answer his command, no matter how I tried. There in the dark I did my best to say a silent prayer, that when they take him to his fate, you know how much I care. Meet me at the pillar, son. Please meet me there at noon. I need you, brave young Irishman. There's something we must do. Meet me at the pillar, son, for still it's not too late. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait.
Yes, meet me at the pillar for you. It's brilliant. I say royalty of Derry, you have to say. Kieran McCafferty, folks, and that's Kieran who does the brilliant ballad of Martin McGuinness. So it was released on his birthday as well. Fantastic shit. So I say, I can only hope, Sean, if you're listening, maybe you can get your little sister to maybe get on to the show me one of these days. You never know. That would be a big coup, I have to say. Right, so yeah, that was from the Raised on Songs and Stories album from the lads from Derry. So we're going to have Ronan McDonald on the phone in the next 15 minutes to talk about all of these 3 albums that he's been involved in making. So Phil Coleman, great to see you on the big screen. Happy days, mate. Craigie, yep, that's the song for Kelly's Bar, Glavert and the Rebel Collective podcast. Yes, Craigie, you know what there? It took me a while. I was always wondering who sung the opening theme. I actually asked Coach, and he sent me a PM saying, yeah, and he sent me the link to this song. That's actually one of the reasons I found out the whole album, the Raising Songs and Stories. When Coach sent me the link to that song on YouTube, and then I found all the rest of the songs from the album, and there we'll have Ronan on the phone today from it there. Yeah, Kevin Cadden, good show, Cara. You go, James Corbett, strolling down the Falls Road, big man. Right, Krista Coyle, Rebel Singer, shout out to 4 Tims in the podcast, the best satellite podcast of Jesus Christ. Has he got onto your Facebook page again and posting on your behalf, is he? Fuck's sake. Anthony, mate, good to see you. I seen you on there on Paul's podcast there last week, or the week before, just after the Celtic and Huns match. Now, can't say I agreed with you at all on the whole Lenny thing, but obviously we're we're here to debate things, you know. But there you go. Joseph Pierce, can you please play Hello to the Provost, please? That obviously was him. Right, Shane McCrory is here on Facebook, says, I think you should play Kevin Barry today, Ro. If you haven't already, don't worry. It's his 100 years dead today. Yes, it's coming. Don't worry, folks. It's going to be on very, very soon. I am all over it. Right, so, folks, as you can see here at the front, I haven't mentioned it here. There's a wee banner you'll see. There's a link to PayPal. Basically it says paypalme.djroshow. So what I've been busy doing last week, folks, thanks to everyone who sent me a wee donation or a tip. Obviously, because I'm out of work now, so I can't get any DJing. When I'm going to be DJing again, I have no clue. So basically, a lot of the bands and stuff are coming on and doing this here, and just not asking or begging people, but just saying, listen, there's a wee tip jar there if you want to send me something, be it a couple of pounds, whatever. I'd be most welcome, folks, and much appreciated. So all you have to do is just click on the wee link for paypal.me /DJ Rose Show, and it'll send you straight to my PayPal, and you can fire in whatever you want, folks, but I say would be much appreciated. So it would. Right, so from one, we're going to go a hat trick here of brilliant female rebel singers from the island of Ireland. So first we had, of course, Krista from Derry, and then we had on the brilliant Kieran McCaffrey. So go to this wee request here for, right, where are they? Janice Henry, looking for her parents, Agnes and William Henry over in East Kilbride, and they love our Emer, so they wish they could take her away over to East Kilbride from the County Tyrone and let them live with her. But so they're looking at Highland Paddy. So yep, this is from Emer's album Live at the Rock Bar. So folks, another about 12 minutes or so, we've got Ronan from Ronan McDonald. Yeah, from Derry on the phone, discussing basically his sort of whole journey into life and music and stuff like that, plus the 3 albums that he's had a big hand in taking part in Derry over the last few years. So yep, looking forward to that. So yep, this is from East Kilbride for William Henry and Agnes Henry. This is Your Wee Girl, but Emer McLaughlin and Highland Paddy.
Wee song called Highland Paddy. Happy's all shouting for freedom here. One evening fair, the sun was shining. To Kilkenny, I'd ride, I'd meet with Captain Brady. That's all the commander by his side. Here we go, then you are welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side, you surely stand. Hear the people shout for freedom, freedom. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Well, in the morning, we rose early. Just before the break of dawn, blackbird singing in the bushes, greeting you on this fine morn. Then you are welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side, you surely stand. Hear the people shout for freedom, freedom. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Oh, gather round, free men of Ireland. Gather Fenians, gather round, hand to hand with sword and musket. We'll spill their blood upon the holy ground. Then you are welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side you surely stand. Hear the people shout for freedom. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Well, there's a grave beside the river, mile outside Kilkenny town. There we laid our noble captain. Birds sang when Fenian died. Here we go, then you are welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side you surely stand. Hear the people shout for freedom. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Well, all my life I will remember. I remember night and day. Once I rode into Kilkenny, and I heard his noble captain say, what did he say? Then you are welcome, Highland Paddy. By my side you surely stand. Hear the people shout for freedom. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Rise in the morning with the Fenian. Officer H, then you are well. paddy. By my side to surely stand, hear the people shout for freedom. Rise in the morning with the Fenian band, rise in the morning with the Fenian band, rise in the morning with the Fenian band. Island Paddy there.
The lemur there for you. Helen Paddy, that's for us, for Agnes and William Henry over in East Kilbride. I'll just say before the song started there, that Janice had said they love Emer so much and they'd love to bring her over to East Kilbride, and to see her sister Anya says absolutely. Take her. Jared says absolutely. I'll give her a lift to the boat. So I think this must be all to do with the mess that you left the other night. I seen your dad's comments there yesterday morning. You're all down all over the place. He had to bring people home and everything, whatever. I was watching the live stream from Rebel Roots, folks, for their live sort of CD album launch. So obviously there was a bit too much wine drunk, so there was, and obviously I could hear a few people in the background, glasses clattering and everything, whatever and stuff. And it was Anya says, Stevie, Anya says, thanks very much. She has an amazing voice too. Yep. So what was I saying? Yeah, it was about, I think it was about half an hour before they realised that obviously they were showing an Ivory Coast flag in the background, not a tricolour. So that's what happens when you put the phone on selfie mode. Everything goes back to front. But they got it sorted in the end. So they did. So yep. Talking about the Rebel Roots the other night, folks. Obviously, the brilliant album launch on Facebook Live. So that Six and Jerb was on, then of course Emer and Anya came in as well. A brilliant session. So it was. So right, moving swiftly on to this then. So today is the 100th anniversary. 100th. That was a bit premature there. We'll bring us back to the start. So today is the 100th anniversary of the death of Kevin Barry. Of course, he was 18 years old and hanged in Mountjoy Jail, folks, in Dublin. So we're going to, a few people have already asked me to play this here. They're going, get it on. Obviously, so yeah, we're going to, this is the Rebel Roots version, Jared and Sticks. So this is from their new album. I think it's on the new album. I'm waiting on it coming anyway. So Jared has told me it's going to be in the post this week, so hopefully I'll get a few tunes from it next week. So yep, on the 100th anniversary today of Kevin Barry. This is Rebel Roots with the ballad of Kevin Barry, folks. So sit back and enjoy this.
My joy days, one Monday morning, high upon the gallows tree, Kevin Barry gave his young life for the cause of liberty. Just a land of 18 summers, yet there's no one can deny, as he walked to death that morning, he proudly held his head on high. Just before he met the hangman in that dreary prison cell, British soldiers tortured Barry just because he would not tell all the names of his brave comrades and other things they wish to know. Turning former art will kill you. Proudly bow, we am a soldier. Do not hang me like a dog, for I fought to free old Ireland on that bleak September morn. All around that little bakery where we fought them hand to hand, shoot me like an Irish soldier, for I fought to free Ireland. Proudly standing to attention as he bade his last farewell to his broken-hearted mother, whose sad grief no one can tell. For this cause he proudly cherished this sad parting had to be. Then to death walks softly smiling, that old Ireland might be free. Another martyr for old Ireland, another murder for the crown, whose cruel laws may kill the Irish, but can keep our spirits down. Lads like Barry are no cowards, and from the fall they will not fly. Lads like Barry will free Ireland for its cause. They live and die. Kevin Murray.
That's our Rebel Roots there for Jordan Sticks. Just watching that there, the video there from that there, from the Rebel Roots practice sessions. And George, you really good at that. So you do like these arm movements, and that's actually just watching the hour night. There's a bit of a crack here on the my Facebook stream here. James Williams says, George, you need to get Sticks dancing. George Lax, well, yep, the old brigade shuffle. And yep, I've mentioned this in the show many times of Sticks' lack of brigade shuffle qualities. He definitely needs to get on it, so he does. George says, his hair gets in the way. Conor McLachlan, what's the crack, Ro? Well, how you doing? Right, I'll get a few more shout-outs from YouTube before we go on to Ronan's interview next. So, Janice Henry here says, Anya, I'm sure you'd be welcome too. There's plenty of room. You just need to sing for your dinner. Phil Coleman, brilliant version of a brilliant song on his 100th anniversary. Yep. Kevin Barry, 100 years dead today. Here you go. Killed, hanged, 18 years old, Mountjoy Jail in Dublin, 100 years ago. Hugh O'Neill, I don't think I've heard that version before. Who is it? Yes, here you go. Just said that there is Rebel Roots. Stick Stockerly and Jerk Lacken, there you go. Hugh is just saying, I just love Rebel Sundays. It puts a whole new completion to the day, folks. So if you love it so much, do me a favour and fire a wee link down to the PayPal there, because we donation, will you? Anything you can, a couple of £1, whatever. It'll go greatly towards my paying my rent and putting some food on the table, saying the DJ business is down to Swanee for the foreseeable future, and Il Boris has given us another lockdown, so I think the north could be heading that way as well if it's past experiences or anything to go by. So are right. James Williams, get him a mohawk for the 10 in a row. James, don't leave me scudding this, fuck's sake. Right, so what we're going to do next, obviously, we're going to have Ronan McDonald on the phone after this here song, right? We're going to do so. This is the first song we're going to play from their new album, Stories of the Land, right? The Shanaghy Sessions. So this one here is called The City Cried, right? And it was written by Paddy Nixon, who also basically has a big hand in playing all these albums they've put together. So it tells the story of the agonist and pain throughout Derry in the aftermath of Bloody Sunday, right? So it's an original song, right? Of course, written by Paddy Nixon. Vocals, Tommy Quigley, who has three songs on this album, folks. Who does Paddy Nixon on guitar and bass, Stephen O'Carroll on accordion, and his brother Kieran Carson on whistles, and Eamon Caranan, is that the way I pronounce Caron, on piano. So it's fantastic. So this is The City Cried. This is the first of the two songs we're going to play today from the new Shanaghy Sessions, Stories of the Land. So this is it. And we're going to have Ronan McDonald on the phone after this song for you folks. So hope you enjoy us.
Was a day unlike any other. At the end of January, where the people marched together for the rights and equality. From Bishopsfield to Shoulder, from Creggan to the Bogside, till they met a grave injustice and the city cried. When she awoke that Sunday, there was none who could foretell that for 13 of her children was their last day on this earth. As the world looked on in disbelief, and the Fleet Street presses glide with the sorrows of a mother, the city cried. And through tears they filled an ocean when she saw what they had done. For demand and equal treatment, they took 14 of her sons. So remember Bloody Sunday, and remember those who died, and don't forget what happened while a city cried. There was Jackie Duddy, William Nash, young Gerald Donaghy, John Johnson, Willie McKinney, and Paddy Doherty. There was Barney McGuigan and Michael McDade and Kevin McElhenney, Hugh Gilmore, John Young, Jim Ray, Michael Kelly, and Jared McKinney. And the tears that filled the ocean soon became a tidal wave, and it washed away the debris that besmirched their 14 games. So remember Bloody Sunday, and remember those who died. And don't forget what happened, or why the city cried. God bless and keep my children, says Dara with sad smile.
Yeah, there's the City Cry there for you folks, and that's from the brilliant brand new album, Stories of the Land, the Shanachie Sessions. That's, of course, our Tommy Quigley on vocals for that one. So we're going to get Ronan McDonald on the phone now, folks, who was basically the main man responsible for putting this whole album together. And of course, the other two previous albums that we talked about. Just on YouTube here, Steph McNally, great song, brilliant storytelling. So let's see if we can get Ronan on the phone. Hopefully he has a good enough signal up in Derry. Here we go. Right, Ronan, get yourself ready, son. To have a dial tone. There we go. Eventually. Hello, Ronan. Can you hear me, mate?
I can't worry. What's happening?
Happy days. Well, good to hear you. Are you on speakerphone? Are you?
No, I have the earphones. I have the earphones on.
Happy days, mate. Good. So, folks, this is Ronan McDonald. Of course, Ronan had Ronan on the first song of the show, and I say we're trying to get him on here for a good while now. But obviously, they finished this latest album, so it's great to have you on, mate. So it is. So I was sort of first made aware of yourself, right, when I came across the Raised on Songs and Stories album on YouTube. Obviously, I said earlier on that I was looking to find out who done the version that on Coach's podcast of the one that the song that Kira does. Obviously, I found out where it was, and it led me on to the whole album on YouTube. So it did. So obviously, I done a wee bit of digging and found out obviously the particular album was in memory of your dad, Jerry, right? So first, see before we get into your whole sort of personal story, right? Tell us a wee bit about your late father, Jerry Mack, as he was known to everyone. So I can sort of remember when he died, right? Although I didn't know the man, but my Facebook timeline was just like a wash of tributes for this guy called Jerry Maxwell, sort of PM'd a few people I know in Derry to find out. And I think it was actually Joe Dunn who said to me, yes and no, mate, he was like a legendary local singer who passed away recently. So just tell us a wee bit about your dad, mate, first, before we're going to do your story.
Alright, cheaper. So I said my dad played in bands in Derry for about his whole life since he was 16. Like so he was playing for 50 years. So he was, and that's literally all I've done his whole life. Mostly all like wedding bands and stuff like that. Yeah. But no, it's literally all I've done. So it became very well known. It had a big voice, like a big. Always created about ballads, but that big voice, and that's what always people always went on about and still talk about, like, when people mention them these days. But that's basically where all that comes from. So it does. So it's just brought up with him and his music, and his taste became my taste, basically. So I take it would have been through your dad that you sort of first got into the whole bug for music, and then like the setting up equipment and gigging and stuff. Then. I just laughing about the other day because it's just frankly like the first time I heard proper like music was Wolf Tones. And we used to go across the Glasgow all the time for Celtic matches. My dad was one of the founding members of the Derry No. 1 supporters club in Derry. Right, okay. So we would always travel across and always a white cassette tape of Wolf Tones' greatest hits. And I'm no older, 5 or 6, I remember that there. Like, and so it was just always asking for more of that sort of stuff. Then as I got older, there's Wolf Tones, Dubliners, Ballycorn, Irish Brigade, Gary Old, and all that sort of music then. But I definitely came from him, so it did. And then it was like, 12 or 13, he started me out roadieing because I wanted money as well. Any pocket money, his dad would let the speaker in, wearing it. And then, but doing that there, that teaches, like I was doing that for years, and I learned how to basically just do sound and stuff like that through all that. So I picked up a lot over the years from him, so it did. Right, so now anyone sort of Republican-minded from Derry, right, that I seem to have on the show always sort of seems they've been involved initially with Ogre Sinn Féin, and then they've progressed on to the Spirit of Freedom flute band, right? So obviously you're no different. So tell us a wee bit about your time in the band, because I obviously have been playing in flute bands for most of my adult life. I always sort of like to hear sort of different stories and experiences from people who've played in flute bands. So for me, like I joined Ogre first just as I was leaving Stroll when I was 18. So I joined Rhoda Young Fine, and then that just naturally in them days, not so much now, but in them days that just automatically led into the flute band. So you would have had people like Joe Dunn and Mickey Kelly and boys like that.
Yeah.
And they say come out to practice on Sunday, and I have 2 left feet, so I kept marching. So I wasn't much good at the flute band, but no, I went on the flag ring for a year or so when we were doing the marches and stuff
I
like
said
that.
at Barry Davy last week, it's the flaggers. That's what we call them. Us proper musicians call them the flaggers. Only joking, mate. You're not worthy of a name in the band until you can play a flute or a drum. You're a flagger. That's how you went through first.
100%. That's why I took myself out of it. I thought, no, it's just sort of.
It's not for me.
Just sort of help. No, not. I stayed on the band, but sort of helping out the end, like planning the marches around when we did our local marches and commemorations and doing the functions and stuff like that, and booking bands and getting a venue sorted for all that. So that's where I sort of moved on the end, sort of fundraising aspect of it, which I love doing all that because, as I say, I was clean used to the marching, like, so it was a hazard to the band more than a help.
Right, so for the second week in a row, right, the name Mickey Kelly is sort of getting a mention on the podcast, right? Obviously, I spoke a bit in depth with him with Barry Davy last week, but I'm definitely not to get him on the show some weeks with him, but I know he's a bit shy, he doesn't like doing this kind of stuff. So you were one of the original members of Kelly's Men then, so tell us a wee bit about how the band first started up, because obviously the band line-up now is very different to what it was when it first started out.
I was actually trying to find about that the other day, how it actually started. It would have been we started in 2011, but when I joined the Spirit of Freedom in 2010, the band would go out every Sunday. They don't know. That's when the Rebel Sunday was back in them days. You would have had the Irish Brigade and Spirit of Freedom, and Cruncher was down with his band all the time. So I just got to know Mickey for that there, and we started talking about songs that other bands weren't doing, especially like the Pioneer Band stuff. And at that point, Dougie Brelson wasn't back singing every songs. He was off doing his own thing. So
doing his Rat Pack thing, whatever stuff.
He was back, but no bands really do. Obviously, apart from Roy and Danny and George and Pop and Death Before Revenge, was the songs that people always done. But then we even talked about songs that like old Irish Brigade songs, or Hills Round Dunloy, and songs like that there, and Spirit of Freedom songs like Jeffrey and Derry. We sort of picked up a lot of Derry Brigade songs, and we were like, no bands doing these sort of songs anymore. So that's what sort of led for us to sit down and say, why don't we do it? And that, me and Mickey didn't have a clue what we were doing. We had to our first practice was in his living room, and I think the first song we done was like Roy and Danny. It was just me and Mickey at that time.
Yeah, yep.
And then we had Pete Kavanagh, Mickey's mate, came in for Did You Help Was a bit of singing, but then we had a big advantage and most bands don't have. Like, we had all my dad's equipment and stuff like that.
Everything.
We would set the full pay up in my kitchen, and we'd be practicing, and we think we were doing room. My dad would come out to do dishes and just give us a look to say, you're out of tune, fix that, do this. So
right, okay.
we'd all just start that way, but that's basically how the band started. That would have been March 2011. That would have been like.
Aye. So obviously, you've sort of parted ways with Kelly's Men, right? And then you sort of started doing maybe just a bit of work with your dad, like sort of 2-piece gigs. So was that there like a lot of rebel stuff, or more sort of like social club, sort of like middle of the road kind of gigs you were doing?
We like when I left Kelly's Men, just sort of my dad had some 1-pieces. Always were going to come along, but my dad had his own band as well. Like, they do weddings and bars and functions and that sort of stuff. But he had 1-piece stuff, and he was getting like to do Irish stuff, and so I would come on to a few years in the Whistles and stuff, like Tom Wilson's and a few songs, and then we ended up doing the Wolf Tone Bar in the Kenny quite a bit.
Right, okay.
So that was all Irish stuff. And
great bar.
But obviously, I would only do the all gig with him just to help him out. It wasn't, see, like, for the time I left Kelly's Men, I just didn't find I like being on stage, which I don't. And I didn't really like doing it then. I don't like it doing now so much. So it was just there to help out more than anything. So it was.
Yeah. Right, so before we sort of get into the 3 albums we've been talking about today, let's sort of talk a wee bit about how you got into the whole recording side of things. So, is this sort of something you always want to do next? I love like live albums, sort of. That's why I sort of try and play as much live sort of music on the show as possible. Just think there's something about the live stuff, like a lot of like when people go into the studio, there's a lot of stuff you can do with no change their voice and sort of add stuff in it, whatever. But like if you do a live album, it's sort of you have one crack at it, whatever I mean, and there's not a lot of sort of work you can do with it. But obviously, I mentioned last week, I had Fergal on the show last week, or a couple of weeks ago. We covered the album of Planksty, live at Rosie Joe's album, which to me, it was produced by Stixer, and which was just a fantastic album. So it was, the production of that album is, for a live album, to me, is fantastic. Like, but obviously, I didn't know there was the one album when I played one of the songs, I think it was last year, one of the Fianna songs. I'm not sure it was Town I Love So Well or something, whatever. And you had sort of pointed out you were sort of took part in the recording of their song. That was like sort of was recorded here in Derry. that album was very raw by the sounds of it, sort of like it was like straight from CD to disc, no edit, nothing. So is that would that have been like sort of one of the first recordings that you should have been involved in, like from a band, or?
See, what we done at the start when we were doing Kelly's Men at the start, we recorded a lot, like just from the desk. So I still have the original recordings of our first practice sessions.
Seriously,
and our first record everything in the desk, and then we just put it through the laptop and the digital files in. And it was actually the Kelly's Men CD launch. It was Easter Saturday. It was in 2012.
Yep.
And we booked Fianna play before us, and then we would run the launch our CD. And we recorded most of our gigs just using the MIDI disc player. So that's literally all that was. I was taking from the MIDI disc from the desk, the MIDI disc player, put through the laptop, and just splitting the tracks. I sent it to Tam, and naturally knew then it was on sale, even at a low bar. So, but we've done a lot of it. But then we sort of moved on to the studio stuff with one of the first Kelly's Men album, which Ramon Ferguson did for us. And Ramon also he produced the Raising Songs and Story album as well.
Right. Okay.
And he's been on the R2 albums as a musician, more so on the production side as well. But we started doing that. But no, I love 100% with you. I love live music. We recorded the notes in Derry launch night, full multi-track, 18-track recording. But I'm just trying to convince Paddy to mix it and put it out. But he's more on the studio stuff, so we might get that put out someday. Like.
Yeah, obviously it's great to see all the stuff's on YouTube. I mean, I think even when I'm going to mention that, so sort of talk about the first album you've done. Obviously, it was organised in 2016, Raising Songs and Stories. This album was sort of in memory of your dad, Jerry, right? So I've been playing a lot of the sort of songs from this album earlier in the show, and throughout the years. So I played the Mandela yourself. That was the live version. You're playing along with Kelly's Men, that one, and even still to this day, the way Ruairi plays the cajon, that song, standing up like on a wee stand, whatever, within two brushes, is fantastic. Like, so this, like, I've never seen anybody doing that. Even like seeing in Bundoran standing playing a full drum kit standing up. You're going, what are you doing here? How the fuck are you playing a drum kit standing up? But obviously you done the Mandela song with him, it's not their album, so you sort of were able to bring together so many sort of great musicians from Derry, like sort of in that their album, including Kieran McCafferty, who I just sort of played earlier on, who I think was a big sort of coup to get on that album. So that there was obviously a predominantly rebel album. So tell us a wee bit about how that whole album there first came about. Yeah.
So, like I was saying, I see, like, growing up, I just grew up with ballads. You know, like if you sit in house parties, my dad would play a bit of guitar, and it was always James Connolly or whenever Rivers Run Free and big ballads to that. But then for years, my dad wouldn't go out of the house too much. He just sort of worked, and that was him. But then when we started doing the Kelly's Men stuff, he would drive us to all our gigs. Remember one gig, we drove us down to Longford, and we were playing before the Irish Brigade, and then we were in Dungiven the week after that. And so he just sort of got out more often, and then I took him to the Trissies and Patters, and he got to meet all the younger musicians, and that's like Marty Healy and Alban and Sean and Kieran, and they knew Tommy Quigley and Dougie Bresson for years as well. But he got to see all these playing live, and they invited, like Tommy especially and Dougie would invite me to do a song or two, and on the pint, and that's sort of giving new lease of life when it came to Irish music. So a lot of the songs on the album is people picked that, and Raising Songs and Story, that album picked Bull of Old to Love Me Dancing in that song, and Tommy did the Fury Bar song, I Love You Every Time. It's one of my dad's favourite songs, and so people were picking their own songs basically on that album. And we had Conor and Kieran on the album as well, last Nevin.
Yes, I remember you saying when it's in the live thing, obviously they can't be here tonight, but they recorded, was it Billy Reid they done? The album
they done two songs, because like when Conor and Kieran first came over to Derry, like they stayed here and they stayed in my house with it.
Lucky you.
Oh no, but like Conor and Kieran meant a lot to us, like, so they were always welcome. They stayed loads of times, and so obviously asked them to do two songs, and Chris produced them two songs that they done, and they were brilliant. Like they were well above the production of what we were doing. You know what I mean? We didn't have a clue what we were doing at that point, but we had Billy Reid and Fairwell Malahi on that, and there was 22 songs on that first album.
That's a double CD, wasn't it?
That was a double CD, yeah. But there's some great songs on it, and the whole Kelly's Men's on that, even though we weren't. Because Mickey did George and Pop, Rory did The Parting Glass, did a brilliant version of that. I did Mandela, Marty did James Connolly. So the whole band in that sense was on the album as well, so it was, which is good.
I love actually the way Marty does James Connolly. It's like a different tone, or a different sort of like way everybody else sings it. It's a different sort of style. And like obviously when he's just sort of doing sort of a cappella or just with a acoustic guitar, it's fantastic. So it is like you just sort of sit back and listen to it. There, brilliant. So it is.
It's just softly played. That's the way Murray plays it. It's a really lovely version. The video on YouTube as well. It's just Murray Ramon and Mickey playing, which is really nice. Yeah. But as you say, we had Kira and Sean on it as well, and Kira did meet me at the Polar. And as she says on the video, she talks about she was at my dad's last gig, and she actually was. I can't remember it. The gig was at the end of April in 2015. My dad passed away in May 2015. So there was 3 weeks between that concert and him passing away.
Right.
And our gig, she was there, like, so, and that night she came up and she said to me, "Is he keeping okay?" And we didn't know at that point that my dad had cancer, but that's
right. Okay.
It was just but that was his last gig, and she done that song. She stole that whole night. If you asked anybody who was there, we had goosebumps in the arms, and she was, that was just what on the net. That was that, that was her night. That was amazing what she done.
Definitely. So, I mean, I think I'm sure you didn't have to sort of convince a lot of people to come and do that their album like with you. People were busting their arse to go on, like, you know.
Oh, definitely not. No, and to be honest, in the end of the albums, we haven't had to convince anybody. No, that's the thing. There's so many good musicians, and I'm just waiting for one to turn around and say go away at some point. Like, but no, nobody has yet. That's the main thing.
So, actually, the next one you definitely took up with that. So, you did probably production wise and stuff. Was I think was it released in September 2019? Notes from Derry. Then, so obviously.
No. Notes actually came out this year. I know it feels like 5 years ago there, but we started recording it in September, October last year.
Right,
we brought it out in the end of February this year.
Right.
I know it's literally seems like a lifetime, like, but that's just obviously the way this year is. But Notes was
that there. I've featured that there one a lot on the show as well over the last year. So you've kept hold of like the same sort of core group of musicians that of them have played on the first one. But the song I'm going to be playing on this album later on as well on the show is Shanna Golden from album. Now, I've never heard that song before, and actually I've heard an album, but when he sung it, I was like, "What's this song?" And it's just when you listen to the words in it, and then you read up in the song, it's fantastic. And that's definitely my favourite song from the Notes album. So it is. But this is one of probably more folk, middle of the road stuff, rather than rebel stuff. And I remember actually talking to you when you were saying me some of the stuff of it, and the song that Jerry President or Dougie President's put on, it's a real random, was it Arthur's song or something like on it?
I don't Christopher Cross, Arthur's theme. So like the whole idea of that album wasn't so much about I messaged Paddy when I was in Vegas, and I was all, "Do you want to do an album?" But we ended up having a load of musicians on there who weren't Irish musicians, but they're fantastic musicians. So and so you have songs on there about people like addiction to gambling and mental health, and then Dougie just came out of left field by Christopher Cross for that. That's, I don't know why, but it's mad. But that's the way Dougie be sometimes. But it was more of just an acoustic album, more of an Irish. But there's plenty of Irish stuff on it. And you say album did Shanna Golden, and I always remember that song. It's like a Mark O'Donnell song. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Aye.
But then it started for it, and I was like, "That's brilliant." And that's basically that's why it's on the album. But I thought it was one of them Disney wee songs that Mardo or Daniel Donald's around, but no, he's done a great version on it, so he did.
But I think you had mentioned about you've recorded the whole night of the Raids and Song Stories one. I think this one here, I would have loved to heard this album live when you've done the launch night of it, like, so because like basically what you had on stage on that night there of this album was just like the great and the good of like musicians in Derry, like just absolutely phenomenal. So it is for an album to come together, like, so it is.
The launch night was that was one of the best nights I've ever been involved in terms of just how good the music was. Everybody was just playing. Everybody was happy to play. Nobody sort of wanted to get off stage, which was one of the nights. At one point, I had a drag Paddy Dixon off stage. He was as I took a break, but he didn't multi. But no, we raised a good bit of money for Deeds, a local charity.
Yeah.
It involved with dementia and stuff like that. And they use that money and they buy instruments to help people with dementia. And
brilliant. Okay, right.
We got all that to them, but it was an amazing night. And we have the full thing recorded, but hopefully get around to getting it done. Like, but someday we might get that put out.
The great thing for me to see is like there's so many like families involved in these here. After you have like Sean, then his sister Kira, and then is it Stephen and Kieran, then Carlin, and then of course Tommy Quigley and then his son Thomas Ogue. He actually sung Sweet 16, was it, on the Notes album?
I did,
and like, you really would think you're listening to the Furies, like, if you close your eyes. That song, that is just phenomenal. So what is it? I mean,
I love that guy. Like, Tommaso's he's been my best friend for 20 years, like, so I know him my whole life, and that was one of my ma's favourite songs, and she passed away in February 2019, and so he sang that for her. That's why he done the album. I couldn't get him back for this one. I asked him to do it, but he kept saying no. But then he came back to me with a month ago and said, I might do a song now, and I'm like, I'm done. That's all. The album's done.
Too late now, aye. Right, so obviously you now have this the current album, and it's probably looking you're not going to be able to do a launch night for it, unless you maybe do something online or something, right? So this album is called Stories of the Land, the Shanachie Sessions, right? So you had sent me 2 songs from the album. The first I played at the start of the show, or the start of the interview, there was The City Cried by Tommy Quigley. So obviously that was an original song. This one is all about Bloody Sunday, right? And the second one, which honestly, it just gives me shivers every time I hear this guy, Sean McCafferty. Both of these guys, so Tommy has 3 songs on the album, and Sean has 2 on the album as well.
So originally Tommy came on and recorded Hear Me Joy, and we've been playing that for the last couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
And he also recorded a song called Quiet Desperation, which is a Christy Moore song, a great song as well. Like, but then we actually recorded The City Cried on Raising Songs and Story. Paddy sang it himself, and he didn't like it, and so we were finished up recording on this album. Is all, can we get Tommy to do The City Cried and do it the way he wants to do it? So that's what happened. And then with Sean, like when I approached Paddy, it was just overboard about the whole lockdown. I was like, we need to do something. And I was like, what if we do an RCD? And he was like, well, here's a song Sean sent him. Sean sent him like a phone recording of Hamster and Joseph Mary, which was wrote, the words are from a girl from Mayo called Adina Barrett. And then Sean put the music to it, and then Paddy played me the recording of Sean singing it, and I was like, it was amazing. I didn't know we're definitely doing this album. That convinced me there and then that we had to do it, and people will get to hear it. Like, but that's basically a song that's sort of told from. It's called Joseph Mary. It was told it from Grace's point of view, right? About her life with Joseph Mary Plunker. So it's a great song.
This album now it's out now, and so people can buy it. Is it through how are you selling it, through Facebook or what? Or what way?
It's on we have a big hotel site set up.
Right, okay.
We have PayPal set up. It's available for pre-order now. We should be arriving now on Tuesday or Wednesday actually from the printer. So, and then we'll get it sent straight out to people. But it's flying out. It's doing really well, and people seen the order already. So, but there's 18 tracks on it. It's 18 songs. Like, we started out with 14, and then we just kept adding on, and the whole idea of the whole concept at the start of the process was to take like older songs and sort of bring them back to life. So there's a whole load of folk songs on there, like old time songs that come back to Paddy Riley, and down by the Glenside, Rebecca Beals does a great version of that. So you'll get to see sent up during the week. You can get a proper listen.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers. Looking forward to it.
18 tracks in total, 12 different singers. Let's say Tommy's doing 3, Murray Healy's doing 2 songs as well. He done an amazing version of the Mountains of Pomeroy and Ramon Ferguson. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. And then he done a Christy Moore song, Go Move Shuff.
Yes, sure. I can't hear it. That's the one that basically about the Travellers, isn't it? He does, happy days. Can't wait to hear that one. Fantastic.
You'll enjoy the way the drummers done that there. You'll be able to play along with that too, no problem.
Great, happy days.
It's amazing.
So when did this actually start? Like, from the busy first thing of it, we're going to have like a sort of meeting, and then to the finished product. Then, like, how long was the sort of time frame for this one?
We started recording. The initial idea came about in June. So that's it. I was just going out of my head and lockdown, just sitting there, fed up the house. So I went down and spoke to Paddy, and I was all, here's an idea for an album. And Paddy Nixon, he's the man who produces all this. Like, he does everything. He engineers it, he masters it, he arranges all the songs, he plays and every single song on the album. I found him and his wife Monica. Both Paddy and Monica played my dad's band for 25 years.
Right, okay.
So I've known him my whole life. So he's just a master of what he does in terms of the studio stuff. So it is. But so I said to him, and we just took it from there. First recording session was started July. We ended up doing 30 different recording sessions over 4 months. We lost a month in September. It was doing it during lockdown is tricky because you have to you would do it one person at a time. We don't want big groups. We couldn't do big groups, if you know what I mean, just where everything was going on.
Yeah.
So everything had to be done properly. And
so the next bit was obviously, I sort of been following you on social media, and you've been sort of keeping me up to date over the progress of the album over the last few months, right? But you have either no neighbours or very understanding neighbours, because it looks like it's just your house, because it looks like it's the whole place been transformed like into a recording studio. Like,
well, that's Paddy's house. Basically,
are they just sitting like watching TV and eating their dinner with surrounded by mics and amps and drums and shit, like just all around them, like, or what happens there?
Basically, that's when like it's Paddy's kitchen and this living room, but we have a studio upstairs as well. You see, but we end up using that space where you see all the photos, because it's more comfortable for people.
Yeah.
And Montague, Paddy's wife, would come out to try and make the dinner. He'd be shouting, "Get out of the studio!"
Get out of the studio! Fuck's sake.
But no, but they're both musicians. Like, so they know exactly that's the way it be. But no, it's like in their house. People come on and they record their song. They stay for 4 hours and have about 20 different cups of tea. But that's the way it works.
Fantastic.
But it's comfortable for people. Like there's people who've never been in a studio before, and they come on. And that sort of environment can be intimidating. You know, once that red light goes, people panic. You know, once that recording's pressed, but Paddy makes it as easy as it can for people to do us.
So listen, we're not going to, normally when we get the guests in, we do like the 10 questions. We're not going to do it with you, Ronan. That's we've been on here for like 35, near 40 minutes. So we'll not put you under pressure to do that there as well. So we're going to do the one more song. So tell this one we're going to is Joseph Mary from the Stories of the Land album, right? So this is was written by, is it Edna?
Adina Barrett.
Adina Barrett. Okay.
She's from Mayo. She sent the words to Sean, and then Sean put the music to it, and then Sean brought it in the studio, and then, as I say, boys like Kieran came in and put the whistle flutes on it, and Stephen with the accordion, and Paddy Monaghan did the harmonies, and it's just one of them songs. I just find it's an amazing song, to be honest with.
So Ronan, listen, we're going to shoot on here and get this. We're going to play this here song now, so I can't wait to get the CD through. We're looking forward to it now. So, mate, never know, when we're up in Derry, when it's locked down door, maybe I might get to meet you one of these days. I'm going to paint or something.
100%. Well, as I say, Ro, just thanks for everything. We've been supporting the albums throughout the podcast, all lockdown and stuff like that, so thanks very much.
Not a problem,
mate. As I say, keep up the good work. Thank you.
Same yourself, mate. Good luck. Cheers. Talk to you later on.
Cheers, right. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, folks, that was Ronan McDonald, our great interview. So it was, and obviously you heard about all these albums that we've been playing over the last few months, and people are going, where's this album from? There's the horse's mouth there. So this is the next one we'll go do, and probably from our Derry overload today. So this is an absolutely fantastic song. It's called Joseph Mary. And of course, it's about the story of Joseph Mary Plunkett and Grace. I think it's from Grace's eyes. So it is this one. And folks, you're going to love this here. Just anytime you hear Sean McCafferty singing, so I can listen to the guy all day. It just gives you shivers up your spine. Just listen to this guy. He needs to be out there more. So he does. He doesn't do a lot of enough social media, in my opinion. He should be every week doing live feeds and stuff. But yep. So this is Joseph Mary from Sean McCafferty from the album Stories of the Land, the Shanaghy Sessions.
As you look upon me, you gaze into my eyes. The pain, it moves in slowly, for you've a greater love than I. I'll forgive you for your first love, for Ireland is so deep. And I know for you to save her, you must leave me here. My heart is breaking, Joseph, as I hear the seagulls play. No longer you'll be with me after all of this today. I know I'll never love again. My heart is far too sore. And I know that you'll stay with me until we meet once more. 1,000 times I've pictured our wedding in my head, with all our comrades gathered, but your fate is set instead. These memories of Kilmainham will stay with me now. This fight for Irish freedom has led us to our vows. Our love lies in the future of Ireland bright and free. We took the call together to gain our liberty. But until then, dear Joseph, sleep well the Gramacree. And when I finally join you, we'll have eternity. 1,000 times I've pictured our wedding in my head, with all our comrades gathered, but your fate is set instead. These memories of Kilmainham will stay with me now. This fight for Irish freedom has led us to our vows. This fight for Irish freedom has led us to our vows.
Yeah, it's Joseph Mary there for you folks. And that there's from Sean McCafferty, of course, from the brilliant album Stories of the Land, the Shanachie Sessions. And we just had Ronan McDonald on the phone, the man behind the whole thing, folks. You heard him talking about it, and it was a great interview. Justin McQuillan, Bring a Tear to a Glass Eye, that row, that was a song. Definitely was, mate. And I say, I'm always bigging up Sean McCafferty, so when you listen to that guy, just there's something about his voice. It just brings you in, and you want to sit and listen to him all day, so you do. Craig here says, great show as usual, Ro. I always enjoy people behind the music telling their story. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's why I try and get the people on and do these things, not your regular guests who just going to talk a lot of shit. People who go come on and talk about a sense, and you know, yeah, so that their song there, it was written by Adana Barrett and Sean McCafferty as well to them. And it's a story of Joseph Mary Plunkett from Grace Griffiths, but told through her eyes. And features so obviously Sean McCafferty on vocals and guitar, Kieran Carlin on flute and whistle, Stephen O'Carlin, his brother, on the button key accordion, and then Robert Peoples on fiddle, and Paddy Nixon, of course, the other man who put this whole album together, on bass. James Corbett, very strong song, brilliant, definitely is indeed. Right, so we'll have here 20 minutes left for you folks, so just here and there. Edward starting the day, hail, and Cham has finally been dropped. James, not liking what Cham's been doing, but let's see. Well, do me a favour, can somebody, James, send me the starting lineup so I can see, because I haven't got a chance here to look through all this here. So somebody can send me the starting lineup for the day's match, folks, don't worry. I'm here at 2, I think the kick-off's at 2:30, so we have plenty of time to go and see the game once I'm finished. I'm up straight to the house myself. Sorry, once I'm finished to watch the match. So right, so 20 minutes to go. I've seen loads of people getting through here asking me to play Go On Home British Soldiers. So this is a real sort of rousing song, this one. And I've seen pardon me folks, Tenants is going to me, I'm bloody burping like a howling. Migs McGuire this morning posting about Shebeen, their live in the Craigan album, but he's saying about that's probably the best sort of live Scottish. I suppose them sort of young bucks at the time, but Shebeen obviously are the daddies when it comes to of the live stuff from Scotland. So Right, good man, James. Here he is, our official stat man when it comes to Celtic with the stats here for Celtic. So here we go. Right, so starting today, Scott Bain, and Duffy, Beaton starting as well, Brown, Captain, Christie starting, and then Tom Rogic, Edward, Elianusi, Frimpong, McGregor, and Lex Salt. That's a good team there, so it is. Happy days. Good man, James. Right, let's see, here we go. Sean McCaffrey, first time hearing it in full. Thanks for playing, Dana, Barrett, Stephen Carlin, Kieran, Carlin, the rest of them. Sean, thanks for tuning in. Absolutely fantastic song. All I can say is this here, absolutely fantastic. Right, so here we go. This for all these balloons that asked for this here. On Craig, I can't get on WhatsApp because my phone is recording the podcast. It's way over the other side in the room on tripods. Here we go. This is Go On Home British Soldiers from this time Shabeen, and probably a bit younger Shabeen, because when you hear Alan Quinn's voice now, it's more. It's probably do all that whiskey and water he's been drinking, but this one's definitely a bit more punch here. So this is for everyone that asked for this one. Because the last few songs have been a bit more mellowy and ballady, but there's nothing denying this one's a real up the let's get ready, get into the fucking AK-47 and do some damage. Here we go. This is Shabeen with Go On Home British Soldiers. Here we go.
Soldiers, come on home. Have you got no fucking home of your own? For 800 years we fought you the VR. I will fight you for 800 more. Leave us be, British soldiers, leave us be. We're fed up with the lies and tyranny. Or it's now your turn to run, results have gone. Take a trip and leave us while you're mine. Go on home, British soldiers, come on home. Have you got no fucking home of your own? For 800 years we fought you the VR. I will fight you for 800 more. But if you stay, British soldiers, and you stay, you'll never ever beat me, alright. All the 14 men in Derry, that's the two will bury. Go on home and leave us while you're mine. Go on home, British soldiers, come on home. Have you got no fucking home of your own? For 800 years we fought you the VR. I will fight you for 800 more. We're not British, we're not Saxon, we're not English, no way. We're Irish and proud to be. So fuck it in you, Jack. We want a country back, and we want to see old Ireland free once more. Go on home, British soldiers, come on home. Have you got no fucking home of your own? For 800 years we fought you the VR. I will fight you for 800 more. Hey! Soldiers, come on home. Have you got no fucking home of your own? For 800 years we fought you the VR. I will fight you for 800 more. Well, we're fighting British soldiers for the cause. We will never bow to soldiers because they're our history. We're born to be free. So get out, British bastards, leave us be. Come on home, British soldiers, come on home. Have you got no fucking home of your own? For 800 years we fought you the VR. I will fight you for 800. Is it? Fight you for 800 more. Go on home, British soldiers, go on home. for 800 more. Go on home, British soldiers, go on home. Have you got no fucking home of your own? For 800 years, we fought you the VR. I will fight you for 800 more.
Yeah, it's a shebeen there for you. Go on home, British soldiers. For everyone to ask for, we're going to have 15 minutes left to go for you, folks. Don't worry, we'll be finishing 10 for the Celtic game. Hopefully keep us all on. Thanks everyone for listening today. Loads of people on Facebook watching. Loads of shares. It's fantastic. Loads of comments as well. Loads of all of you all listening here on YouTube as well. Hugh O'Neill, outstanding performance. Excellent. Is it from me, Hugh, or Alan Quinn you're talking about in Shebeen? James Corbett, Alan Quinn, brilliant. Stacey Baked, hail, Ro, if you have time, can you do Dirty Old Town for me? Craig here says, you need to get a separate camera for the podcast. Look in the OBS studio for the live stream. It's easy. I know a lot of the mates all use it, Craigie. But again, folks, that's why I want to say, if you see the wee poster at the front for the PayPal, if you can just busy fire me a few quid, it goes the help of playing all the stuff for this here studio here. Because obviously I'm doing this for free. It's just busy of my own butt. But what would have been paying for this here before was my DJing business that I would have done every weekend. But obviously out there's a way in the Swanee now. I haven't got it. So you have me here doing this every Sunday, folks. And I have to say, things are getting tough now. So they are. And I wouldn't be coming out and saying it there if they weren't. But so if you can give me anything, folks, a wee tip will be much, much appreciated. So there's a wee PayPal link or paypal.me/DJ Rose Show. And that'll send you straight to the PayPal and you can forward whatever you want. It'll be much, much appreciated. Right, we're going to try and fit as much tunes in here as possible, folks. Pedro, get the rebs on. James Corbett there says, brilliant Sunday again. Hugh O'Neill, Ro, both of you. Good man, Hugh. Right, so we'll do this one. And it's Shay Doolan that asked me to play the ball. Johnny Thompson's go do this one from Glasnevins. Current album at the minute, On the Victory. So obviously Celtic is playing today. We're playing Aberdeen at 2:30. Hopefully we'll make a next cup final of the Scottish Cup again. And we'll go up and meet the Jam Tarts in the final if we get there. So this is for Shay Doolan, who the brilliant balladeer rebel singer from Liverpool, who played some of his album last week. This is the ball of Johnny Thompson from Glasnevin. Come on, Kieran. Any chance? Sometime today, like. Come on. There we go. Sorry, it's Connor, not Kieran. My apologies, Connor.
From the west near 5 he came on a plane for Glasgow Celtic, and to build himself a name. On the 5th day of September, against the Rangers club he played. From defeat he saved the Celtic. Oh, but what's the price he paid? The ball rolled to the center, and John ran out and died. Well, the ball rolled on, but John lay still. Bullets clubbed this hero died. I took out the road to Parkhead, to that dear old paradise. Oh, and as the players came out, sure the tears fell from my eyes. For a famous face was missing from a green and white brigade. They told me Johnny Thompson, his last game he had played. Farewell, my darling Johnny, Prince of players we must part. No more we'll stand and cheer you on the slopes of Celtic Park. Oh, the fans, they all are silent, and you travel near it. far. No more they'll cheer Johnny Thompson, the bright and shining star. I saw play of Glasgow Celtic, stand up and play the game. But between you post there stands a ghost, Johnny Thompson is his name. And between you post there stands a ghost, Johnny Thompson is his name.
Yeah, about a Johnny Thompson there for you from Glasnevin's album On the Victory. That there's a Connor singing there. I thought it was Kieran. My apologies, Connor. There you go. Can't remember everything, can you? Right, so what do we have left here? We've got another 10 minutes so left. Matthew Coogan, brilliant show, Ro. Happy days, folks, again. Just the last 10 minutes, so I'm going to give you a wee shout out if you can. You see the wee link there at the bottom, the PayPal. If you can throw anything into it at all, it'll be much appreciated. It'll do towards the run of this here show, which doesn't come cheap, by the way, I tell you that. If you look in this here studio here, everything that's in it. And obviously, not working the weekends now, so like most other bands, we haven't got the begging bowl out, but basically, we're just asking people, if you go watch the show, you're enjoying it, and you like what you're hearing, just give us a wee tip of some sort. So there's a PayPal link there, paypal.me/DJ Rose Show if you can, folks, would be much, much appreciated. Right, so who more do we have here on YouTube? Let's see. Where are we? Audrey Boys Ticket. I think that's it. Audrey, there you go. Where are you? Happy Rebel Sunday. Up the dubs indeed, Audrey. Right. What do we have here? David Hollywood, Heal. James Cord, brilliant Sunday again, mate. Happy days. Right, so what are we going to do next? Right, I got a wee PM out from a guy who's a regular listener to the show and see him in Bundoran every week, and I told him to go play this here song for him this week. So, where you Scott Temperley, he asked me to play this here song. It's called Beneath a Single Banner. So it's a song from the Irish Brigade recorded, so it is, and it's a wee Donegal song, so you might like this one. So it's especially for Scott Temperley with the Irish Brigade, and so Beneath a Single Banner. It's Scott's birthday tomorrow, so again, happy birthdays to you, Scott. Hope you have a good one. Hope you get spoiled, get a few swallows into you as well today. So yep, here we go. This is we've got 3 or 4 songs left before show on, folks. So this is Beneath a Single Banner from the Irish Brigade.
If you were gonna,
but no, we see these bloody ads, they fucking kill me. This is, see YouTube, it's great for having music on, but see when the ads come unexpectedly, it does your head. Here we go. This for you, this one, Scott.
In the county Donegal, where the grass was green and tall, around the sun-kissed beaches of Leicester, with the village of Dunlow and the Isle of Ardenmore, sure for beauty there's no land could be richer. It was there when I was young I first heard the verses sung of the fight against foreign imposition, of the glory and the pain of the youths who died in vain to save Ireland dear from partition. I learned of battles fierce, of Connolly and Pearce, and the many, many more who were taken. And I knew within my heart I would surely play my part ere the cause for which they died be forsaken. With my father I did go to the hills above Dunlow, where I joined the provincial division. But my father sorely paid taken in a border raid and shot down near Omagh for sedition. All but no has not been lost, for Pierce's rebel ghost will soon march in the true Irish manner. Is the call till we rally one and all, united beneath a single banner. Oh, for freedom is the call till we rally one and all, united beneath a single banner.
There's the Irish Brigade there for you beneath a single banner, especially for Scott Temperley on his birthday here, folks. So it is.
Treat patient.
Sorry, very sorry. You see these bloody odds that put a thing through the air, so it is. Let's see, just somebody asked me, big man, what's the PayPal address for donations? When I type in address on the screen, it's not recognising it. Strange. So it's just it's really linker for it's paypal.me. paypal.me/DJ Row Show. That's it, folks. So I'll put a wee link to it on the on YouTube here, plus on the Facebook as well. If anyone can fire me something, it'll be much appreciated. Just who was it that asked me through here? Let's see. It's got a message to him, somebody. I'm not sure who it was. Chris Wilson's. Chris, thank you very much. So it's just paypal.me /DJ Row Show if you can. Right, so folks, we're going to finish up here. 2 more songs, usual, 1 more song, and then the anthem to finish things off. So I seen there, James Corbett asked him something said so strong. So mate, that's all. We'll go do this one for you. This is Bick and Cruncher, legendary Bick and Cruncher. Folks, I want to just wrap this up so we can get away here up to the house to watch the match. I want to see the build up. So yep, this is Bick and Cruncher with something said so strong. Especially for James Corbett. There you go, mate. Here we go.
I will run. You can't deny me. You can't decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. And I know that I can't make it. You're doing me wrong, so wrong. I thought that my pride was gone. Oh, something inside so strong, oh, no, no. Something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, like I will sing. You hide behind your walls of Jericho, our lives will come tumbling. In my blessing time, you squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. 'Cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can't make it. You're doing me wrong, so wrong. Thought that my pride was gone. No, no. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. Oh, no, no, no. Something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough, but we know better. We'll just look him in the eyes and say, we're gonna gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna do it anyway. 'Cause there's something inside so strong. And I know that I can't make it. She's doing me wrong, so wrong. Thought that my pride was gone. Oh no. Something inside so strong. Our day is coming. Something inside so strong. Our day is coming. Something inside so strong. Oh, chalky Ireland. Something inside so strong.
Yeah, the legendary big crunch there for you. Something say so stronger, especially for James Corbett, mate. Not a problem there, James. Cheers, big man. Hugh O'Neill on the hoops. Up the Rebs, up the Celtic, up the Republic, 32 counties, of course. Definitely Hugh. Justin McQuillan, can't find it on PayPal. Mate, there's a wee link there. I've just put below your comment there. Just tape it. There's a wee link there. If you just see below your comment there, you can see my... I've uploaded it. Just click there. It says PayPal me /DJ Rose Shows. Just click on that there, mate. It's below your comment on YouTube here. Janice Henry, thanks for all again. Brilliant as always. Paul Burt, another great show again as usual. Road, thank you very much, mate. Right, folks, we're going to wrap it up here, folks, and say again before we finish off, if you can throw me something in the PayPal, it'll go towards helping the podcast run here. So it will, and of course it'll go towards helping me put a bit of grub on the table, since I'm not going to DJ in any bars anymore. So maybe that's a good thing. I'm still able to do this here on a Sunday for you guys instead of a Wednesday night. So yep, go finish up as usual with the anthem. This is Earl from Live in the Brazen Head, folks. See us all next Sunday, and I'll let you know what time at next week. During the week we'll find out if Celtic's playing and whatever, maybe a bit earlier, a bit later as usual, these bloody Europa League matches. So here we go. This is the nice anthem, folks. My last one as usual. I'll see you all next week, and again, if you can throw something in the PayPal for me, it'd be very, very much appreciated, folks. Good man, thank you. Good man. Cheers to you all. Thank you.
Känna fina far att safi allegaren winds are slow vart jämtarlanne kung they fudge face hair chanted a shuncher pasta the akbar panseran of the town and got my sabar noel they gone their kell on was no sell they gone their stray they labak na bile Charlotte Canning around
You've been listening to Rebel Podcast of Ruairi, Carson. To listen to this and past episodes again, and to also check out future episodes, keep an eye on our official SoundCloud page. We're also available on all social media outlets. Just search Rebel Podcast. Bhí sé bhgéisteach an sin is an fád cruúlaí Rebel le Ruairi Carson. Le héisteach le seo agus hir hagran a ríis, agus na hagran atá le teach, caisúil ar siúificail sugin ar SoundCloud, agus táid ar fáil ar gach cinneal ardan ar na main thuisiilta. Ní mór dit ach fád cruúlaí Rebel a chuirda.